Hey folks, it's man once again. Welcome back to another review. This is of course Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Now this is the older DVD. This is the Ultimate Edition DVD. It has this, it pretty much comes like this. There's another DVD which from what I remember, doesn't even have much to it. New, maybe like one more little thing. I was always surprised that this has a lot of features, but at the same time, this is one of those films I'm surprised doesn't have like a feature-length documentary. I really am surprised that they didn't release like a Blu-ray that has like a new feature-length documentary with new interviews. I'm just surprised considering the status of this film. I mean, even the first film, it has a new hour-long documentary, but this doesn't, which again I'm surprised by. Or look at Aliens, the big documentary for that. So yeah, I'm a bit surprised thinking about it. But what more can I say about T2 that hasn't been said before? Watch it again. I like the film. I'm not going to sit here and call this a bad film. It's not a bad film at all. The cast works very well. Great special effects. Fantastic score once again by Brad Fiedel. Wonderful direction by James Cameron. My favorite's still going to be Aliens, and I enjoy True Lies, The Abyss, but this is still a really good flick. And I don't really have any problems with the film. I just know that when this film came out, everyone would not stop talking about it to the point that everyone would not shut up about it. Even nowadays, if you talk about Arnold, you have to talk about T2, and it's a good movie, but I also enjoy The Running Man. I also enjoy Predator. I also enjoy Red Heat. I also enjoy other Arnold films like End of Days and Collateral Damage. Or sci-fi films. I also enjoy The Fifth Element. I also enjoy Outland or Sean Connery. I also enjoy a lot of other sci-fi films. So, and there's a lot of other action films I enjoy as well. I too also enjoy Hard Target and Cobra and Rambo films, and so that's the thing, is that it got a bit overhyped to the point it's the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. But it is still a good film. But I'm like, okay, ease up on it a little bit. Because it got to a point that people would try to pick fights with you. If you don't say this is number one of one of one of one, then fuck you and fuck you and fuck you. I'm like, calm down, it's just a movie. But this is still a damn good film. I mean, the beginning, great narration by Linda Hamilton about Judgment Day in 1997, and the way the future looks really cool. Is still the best looking future of all the Terminator films. And then I know someone will go, well, just because it's practical effects doesn't mean you should give it the pass. I don't like the Evil Dead remake, and that has practical effects, so don't get off that notion. I think it's very well done, and it looks better to me because it looks more real, because a lot of it is real. Model work or all sorts of things. And I always thought it was weird. You see a glimpse of the older John Connor, and the guy has no lines. But I always thought he was the most badass looking John Connor. Just his look, and he almost looks like that guy in, if he had shorter hair, in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the guy who gives the hat to the young Indy. That guy almost looks a little bit like him. It's not him, but it looks a little bit like him. And the stars work well. Like, I always thought that was like, did he have a decent voice? Because maybe it'd be cool to have him play John Connor. Because he was, even though he had no lines, he was always the most badass looking John Connor to me. And you had the Brad Fiedel music. Brad Fiedel, I'll say it again, like I said in my review for the first film, the music for these films were never the same when Brad Fiedel never came back for the rest of the film. And this is the last good Terminator film. There's some that I can watch for certain things, but time waster or decent, but I'm not going to say this is decent. This is a good film. My favorite is still the first film because I love the tone. I love the horror film aspect. This is when it started to get a little bit more lighthearted. because you have Hasta La Vista Baby, Edward Furlong teaching him how to, he gets the Gatling gun, the Terminator smirks. So this is, but James Cameron handled it a lot better than in the sequels, especially Terminator Genisys. Like, bad boys, what you gonna do? I'm sorry, I'm not letting that go. That's the dumbest fucking thing for a Terminator movie. Go from a horror film where he's punching people through their fucking chest to bad boys, what you gonna do? And Arnold smiling in a fucking mugshot. But that film gets the pass. Like gas from an ass. I will never understand it, to each their own though. Just my opinion. But getting back to this film, what more can I talk about? I mean, you have the classic scene where he gets, I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. The bar fight with just fucking people up left and right, comes out to the music bad to the bone, gets the sunglasses. Yeah, Robert Patrick, the T-1000, who did an excellent job, Robert Patrick. The T-1000 was such an interesting idea for a new Terminator. The whole liquid metal and edged weapons and great special effects, and it actually some really good practical effects as well in certain sequences. And Robert Patrick just played that so well, that cold, calculating looks, and he knew how to run too. I mean, he was a good runner, and he didn't get tired or anything. I mean, Robert Patrick just had a great presence to him, and had a great look. Almost like the original idea for the Terminator was supposed to look like a normal guy. That's what Robert Patrick does. I like when he sees the step parents, or the foster parents, I should say. One of them is actually Jeanette Goldstein, Vasquez from Aliens. And I like that how nice Robert Patrick is. He's pretend to be a police officer, which makes sense, using their brains in the script. Why wouldn't you have, yeah, that makes sense. And then bring back a Terminator that is more powerful, if you want to kill, makes sense. And have him look like a cop uniform that he steals. I mean, they didn't send him back like that. They sent him back naked. But the T-1000 uses a brain. Hey, here's a cop car. Let me use his clothes. And when he doesn't stop menacing when he's talking to the foster parents, he's very kind. He's very, oh, okay. Hey, there's another guy looking for him. Guy like with a motorcycle, looked like a biker. Oh, that's okay. I wouldn't worry about him. Like, he had a cool delivery, Robert Patrick. He did a really good job with the film. Just a nice job being a nice cop. And then when he turns it on, he just, that sort of that camera scan and just full force. Linda Hamilton, she comes back as Sarah Connor, who's now in an institution. She got really buff. She was really tough. You did not want to fuck with this Sarah Connor. That's why I say the Sarah Connor in the new film, this Sarah Connor could use that girl for ass floss or a fucking Q-tip. Because this Sarah Connor will break that Sarah Connor's fucking, break her whole body with one hand. I mean, she was pumped up, and she did also a great performance. She kind of does a little, made me think of the scene in the first film with Michael Biehn. You see him on the video monitor going ape shit, and then you see Linda Hamilton here going ape shit. You're the one living a fucking dream. It happens. You're dead already. Linda Hamilton did a fantastic job in the film. I have no problems with her performance, and she definitely got buff and tough for the role. Edward Furlong as this hacker type, getting money, who kind of a dick to his foster parents. Edward Furlong, this is really the only film that he's decent in. Because other films like Brainscan, I reviewed Brainscan, he was not that great in Brainscan. Pet Sematary 2, and other films like the Night of the Demons remake, wasn't he in that? I thought he was awful. There's a lot of stuff. Like, he went to drugs and shit acting, and he does alright as John Connor, though. Edward Furlong is not bad in this film at all. But, man, later on, this is the only film, really, the only performance he gave that was worth a shit was in this movie, to be honest. I mean, no disrespect to Edward Furlong, but to be honest, this is the only good performance he gave, really. You also have Joe Morton, who I like, as Miles Dyson, the guy who's behind Skynet, and he's doing it for good reasons. He doesn't think anything's gonna happen. He doesn't know, of course, anything's gonna happen. He's got a wife, got a kid. Um, you have excellent action sequences. I mean, when the two Turners meet, Edward Furlong's in the Myrtle, in the middle. Got so excited, couldn't even talk straight. They shoot at each other, good back and forth, great chase sequence. Brad Fiedel, he didn't just copy the music from the first film, he gave new motifs and music that were very memorable as well. For example, in the chase scene when the T-1000 is chasing John Connor, you have that do 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 bow no 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 down no 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 down no no no, which I remember in the trailer later on for Universal Soldier, actually. I think a few other films as well. But well shot. Arnold's on the motorcycle, has that shotgun, does that cool thing where he flips it to cock it, shooting at the truck, shooting at locked gates to get through, going through this, I don't want to say a dam, but where water usually flows through, and T-1000 is this big, massive semi-truck chasing down John Connor, who's on his little scooter. Well done action sequence, well edited, goes at a good pace. A lot of practical work. Stuntmen did a great job. Close calls. See the actual vehicle, the top of the semi truck gets cut off, and then it goes up and smashes and blows up, and then you have the T-1000 walking up and showing what this thing can do. I love the look of it too. Such a great look for the T-1000. And I swear the effects in this are better than the effects in the new film for the T-1000. The T-1000 looks better. I'm not making it up. Or hey, if you don't agree, you don't agree. I think it does look better here. Maybe because at this point you had a better director like James Cameron before he was fucking Jimmy Tammy than the guy who did Thor 2: The Dark World. Anyway. Just excellent scene, great chase sequence, wonderful music by Brad Fiedel, solid editing. You have a great scene where Jeanette Goldstein is on the phone, and you just know something bad's happened because the guy's talking. I forget the actor's name, who's the foster dad. I know I've seen him in quite a few films before, though. And that Jeanette Goldstein goes here and you know something's up. And this is what I'm talking about. This is the rated R, and it's coming in again. Granted, this is a little bit more lighthearted than the first film, but still, you have a sequence where you see that she's stabbed with her T-1000 arm right through the guy's mouth, and not the back of her head, and also the milk carton. And that's one of those scenes that you remember in your head, like, ooh, shit. Like, this is how deadly this thing can be. This is what this thing can do. You never got a sense with that in the new film, with this Terminator John Connor. You never really got a sense what he could do, because I don't even remember him killing anybody or doing anything. Like, for all I know, this guy will patty cake you to death. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, again, sorry I keep bringing that up. See, I thought of it and made me burp. But let me get back to this film. Because it's hard to talk about a film that everyone knows about and everyone's fucking seen. I mean, Linda Hamilton is a badass. Beats the shit out of this orderly who licked her face, just kicking his ass and kicks these other guards' ass. You buy it. You buy hook, line, and sinker that she can do it. You have great sequences with the T-1000. For example, you have the guard and the T-1000 coming out of the floor. I like, maybe because it takes its time and it's slow, so it's not herky-jerky and they're not in a rush. So And maybe effects guys could take their time with it. And then looking like the guard, I believe they got actual twins. The same two guys who was in Gremlins 2, who worked with for Christopher Lee. Again, the R-rated where it does that thing, goes right in the guy, not his eyeball, but like the corner of his eye. And this is the twitching. Oh, shit. Great moment when the Terminator comes in. I mean, before that, you get Edward Furlong teaches the Terminator some things, realizing that he can control it. I'll do like when he says, you can't go around killing people, and Terminator goes, why? Because you just can't. Why? Trying to teach the Terminator cuss words later on. But the action scenes are very well staged, very well handled. I mean, Arnold coming up, just fuck up the guards with no effort, just throwing one through glass and throwing one against the wall. And this woman breaks his glasses. He just takes her face and then just throws her. And just the T-1000 getting shot, chasing them, and going through the elevator door and splitting it up, and its head going. It looked like some practical effects in there as well. If not, that's some really solid CGI, but that's what I mean. It's the mix that helps. And it holds up to this day. I know I'm not the only one that thinks T2 is better than Genesis. How many decades in between? Maybe 2 decades? Are we movies supposed to get better? Not shittier? It's just what I thought. But hey, I guess that's weird thinking. That when time goes by, you would think things get better, not worse. That's me being silly, I guess. Me being stupid. But I'm sorry, just there's so much great stuff. I mean, during that chase scene, the T-1000 coming up with now its arms are like little hook things. Later on when they get away, and when they get to their buddy in the desert, it slows down a little bit. Didn't bother me too much. I mean, you get that nightmare, which is memorable as well, where she imagines her sort of younger self and all these people just being turned to ash and then blown away, and the whole city's being destroyed. Just such a memorable scene that you can understand why Linda Hamilton does what she does next, where she's going to go kill this guy, Miles Dyson, to hopefully stop Judgment Day. And of course, they get there. She ultimately doesn't do it. Again, a scene that was dumb, but they have the arm with the Terminator arm that you see in Genesis, and it looked horrible. Here, because it's first off, it's R-rated, so they can actually get away with this, where he cuts it and pulls it off, and you see this practical Terminator arm. I need you to listen to me very closely. I mean, it just works well. Good effects. They decided to go to Cyberdyne, blow shit up. I like that the Terminator just now has a big grenade launcher, just grenade launching doors left and right, among other stuff. He decides to follow Edward Furlong's orders, so now he's shooting kneecaps. Which again, this is sort of when the lightheartedness, where of course he's a good guy, it made sense. He's going to be, can't root for him if he's just killing innocent cops. So I can understand that at least. At the same time, I'm like, well, I just remember the Terminator's this killing machine now. Because he's a good guy, he has to resort to just shooting people in the kneecaps. But I'm like, okay, it's at this time it would have been something different. Okay, you have a bad Terminator, now he's a good Terminator. And then forever he will be a good Terminator. Just God forbid he try to go back to be an evil Terminator. God forbid for that. That's just not in the cards ever again. But once again, I thought Joe Morton, when he gets shot and then he has that bomb, he tells even the guys who shot him, get out of here. Dude, it shows how nice of a guy he is. Because, yeah, you guys just shot the shit out of me and killed me, even though I had no gun. I was unarmed. I'm still I could let this go and just kill y'all, but hey, you guys get out of here. And gives him a chance to live. I mean, he's a good guy. I always thought that if there was a Ninja Turtle movie for Baxter Stockman, he would have been a great Baxter Stockman. Because in the comics, in the 2003 cartoon, he happened to be black. So I always thought he would make a good choice for that. Of course, being a Ninja Turtles fan, that's what I was thinking of when I first few times I saw this. And again, it goes at a good pace, though. I know there's the special edition, which actually, when I watched this again, I watched the theatrical cut. Because I had not seen the theatrical cut in a long time. Usually I watch the special edition. And the stuff cut out, I can understand. And the deleted scenes, I mean, if you put in some numbers, you get the alternate ending where you have the older Sarah Connor, old makeup, and Judgment Day didn't happen, which I guess they didn't want to do in case they ever wanted to do another one, or maybe they thought the makeup looked too shit. I don't know. There's a deleted scene with Michael Biehn where he would have been in this film as a sort of a dream, but it kind of was the same dream as later on when she's in the desert, so it would have been kind of repeating the same thing. I don't know, watching it seemed a little bit awkward, Michael Biehn being there. Being there, yeah, I know. Oh, it just seemed awkward. I don't know what it was, just... I can understand why it was cut out. I mean, it sucks that Michael Biehn can't be in it, but then maybe you shouldn't have killed him off, huh? But I was fine that it was taken out of the theatrical cut. Other stuff, didn't really miss much. I mean, like Arnold trying to smile and a little bit of the T-1000 malfunctioning. I mean, that's nice to see in the deleted scene playlist, but I didn't really miss any of them when watching the theatrical cut again. Like, for example, the Aliens extended cut, I always watch. Because I prefer that. Because the stuff cut, I do love being put back in there. Like Hicks and Ripley having one more final moment where they say what their first names are. Or the Sentry sequence. Or the scene in the Halley's Hope. Or Ripley finding out that her actual daughter is dead. Like, that stuff I can understand being put back in. But this, I mean, again, it's nice to see in the deleted scene plays, but I didn't need to see it again with the film. So I was fine watching the theatrical version. But yeah, just excellent action sequences. They get into the SWAT armored vehicle and the T-1000 this motorcycle, and motorcycle goes through the window and gets in, goes into the helicopter, says get out. Well done effect sequence. And then a scene that they ripped off for Genesis, where you have your couple people in the back of an armored vehicle, and T2 is SWAT, and they're shooting at a T-1000, except instead of Genesis, it's just a car. Here, it's a chopper. It looks like a real chopper. And guess what? It's a chopper that actually knows what it can do in real life. Not the shit in Terminator Genesis where it's on its side and it's falling down. All of a sudden, it jump starts and does some fucking magic, out of the blue magic shit. What? That's gonna be Magic Dance with David Bowie? Just fucking magically appeared for the helicopter. Just here, it's a helicopter being able to do what it actually can fucking do, so it doesn't take me out of the movie. Here, it looks like a real helicopter going through real shit. A lot of it, some of it is a real helicopter doing real shit. And when they're shooting at it, and Arnold puts the brakes, and it smashed to the back of the vehicle, and then the chase goes on. It really is a rapid pace. Each one get more vehicles, and the T-1000 doesn't fuck around. He'll come up and just stab right through your chest. Yeah, that's where that R-rated stuff comes into it. And then the T-1000's on their ass, and Arnold gets out, gets a machine gun, right in the T-1000's face. Gets on, turns to it, flips over, has the T-1000 freeze, hasta la vista, baby. Blows it up. Then the fight, again, even the fights are well done, where the T-1000, he's back here, but then he forms so his face is here and keeps on going, and Arnold tries to punch it, but then it punches through his head, but then it turns to his hand. That's what I mean. I'm like, wow, that's really creative. Creativity. That's missing in a lot of movies nowadays. And even Linda Hamilton gets some badass stuff. And just some really good effect sequence, like when Arnold hits the thing and splits the T-1000 in half, or Linda Hamilton with the shotgun scene, just going, the great Brad Fiedel music that keeps going up and up. And then Arnold comes in with the grenade launcher, fucks it up, it goes down to its death, melts. And then even the ending. It's a well done ending where the Terminator realizes there's no, I have to, there's still a chip in my head. Which is funny when in Genesis, the Terminator doesn't kill himself. I guess what? Because he's a T-1000, so it doesn't matter now? I guess that's why. Because in this one, it was, I have to kill myself. And people go, well, he looks fucked up. I mean, well, yeah, because we don't have anyone like burn victims that could just bandage their fucking head. It's not like the Terminators don't go into fucking Mars or Mars. If it was Total Recall, he'd go to Mars. It's not like they don't go to malls or go to fucking McDonald's or some shit. He'd probably just hang around in the house or something. But anyway, it made sense here because he's thinking, well, if anything happens, someone could still get this. But to make sure Judgment Day doesn't happen, go down. And it's a good emotional music by Brad Fiedel, good performances by everyone. Lowers himself down, does the thumbs up, has a little bit of hope at the end. And then one of my problems with Terminator 3 is, oh, it doesn't matter. The fate, what we make that says in this movie, bullshit, it's inevitable. But then you have a new one where you have a bunch of shitty actors as great characters. So it doesn't matter, because after here, the series went to shit. Not as bad as the Alien series went to shit, but it still went to shit. Salvation I can watch because I think one of the reasons I can watch Salvation is because it doesn't fuck with the first two movies. The other sequels do. Part 3 fucks with T2. The new one definitely fucks with the first one. And also now this doesn't exist anymore. Oh, I'm sorry. It's in a vacuum called Alternate Timeline Land. And watch this again. I'm like, this is a good movie. I mean, is it my favorite? No, because everyone always talked about it. Always would not shut up about it to the point. And I'm like, but what about the Running Man? No, we gotta talk about T2. But what about Predator? No, we gotta talk about T2. Well, what about... oh, speaking of which, I know there's a new article that Arnold says that his Predator is the only good Predator film. Yeah, this comes from the same guy who was in shit like Terminator Genisys and Expendables 3. Bullshit, Arnold. Predator 2 kisses shit out of Expendables 3 and Terminator Genisys any day, any week, any month, any year. But I just had to mention that because that was something recent. But great cast, great score by Brad Fiedel, great action sequences, wonderful special effects, creativity with the T-1000. Stan Winston did a great job as well with his effects work. The models and the future war scenes. Went at a good pace. I didn't get too bored with it. I really don't have many problems with it. I still prefer the first film because, I like the horror film tone and darkness to it. And this starts a little bit, getting more a little bit lighthearted, but for the most part, James Cameron handles that humor well. It's not Talk to the Hand or Arnold doing a mud shot. Bad Boys, what you going to do like the new one? It's nothing but bad like that. But this is a damn good movie. I mean, again, it's hard to review a film. What more can you say about T2 that hasn't been said? Judgment Day. It's a damn good action movie. There's actually other action movies I like more just for personal preference, but it's a very well done film. That's just my opinion. But either way, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.